going. Hi everybody, I'm going to be making my red velvet cake today. A lot of people don't know that red velvet is not actually a flavor. It's basically a mild flavored chocolate cake, a milk chocolate flavored cake, and it's just colored with red food coloring. So most chocolate cakes use a dark cocoa or dark chocolate to make it a dark, rich color and flavor. But for red velvet, you use a light cocoa powder or milk chocolate to give it a more milder flavor, lighter color, and then it's just colored with red food coloring. That's all the red velvet is. So I like to use the Hershey's regular cocoa, not the Hershey's Special Dark for this recipe. And I'm going to start with 4 sticks of unsalted butter that are a little bit softened. To that, I'm going to add 4 1/4 cups of brown sugar. This recipe does not use white sugar, only brown sugar. So again, that's 4 1/4 cups of brown sugar. Then to that, I'm going to add 5 teaspoons of vanilla. After I've added my vanilla, I'm going to add I just eyeball this. This doesn't have to be exact. I'm gonna put about a tablespoon. Actually, you can measure it if you really want to. A full tablespoon of food color. I like the food gel. I use AmeriColor for almost all my food colors. Okay. So after I have my butter, brown sugar, vanilla, and food gel in here, I'm going to mix that really well for 2 minutes. Get everything nice and whipped together. Okay, after I've gotten that all mixed together, I'm going to add 6 eggs, one at a time, on low speed. Okay, now that I have my eggs in there, I'm gonna add my dry ingredients and my buttermilk. For my dry ingredients, I have 6 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. I have a full tablespoon, not a teaspoon, a tablespoon of baking soda, a tablespoon of baking powder, and a teaspoon of salt. To that, I'm going to add my 1 cup of the light cocoa. Just mix it in a little bit. And the buttermilk, I'm going to use 3 1/2 cups of buttermilk. I always like to make a huge recipe of cake batter because I make several cake layers ahead of time and freeze them in the freezer, and then I can just pull them out when I'm ready to make cakes. So you can easily cut this recipe in half. You don't have to make such a large batch. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to alternate the dry and the wet, and I'm going to start with the dry on low speed. Mix well after each addition. Okay, I'm just gonna mix the last part of my cake by hand because you don't want to overmix this. You can see that, look at that really pretty red velvety color. All right, I'm actually going to be splitting this up and doing some cake layers, and this recipe works great for cupcakes, so I'm also going to be making cupcakes. To prep my cake pans, I will spray the bottom with some cooking spray. Then I will get my parchment round, place it in the bottom, and then I will spray again, generously. Okay, and I'm just going to spoon this into my cake pans. This is going to go in the oven. The cake layers will go in the oven at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes. You just kind of have to watch. At 30 minutes is when I start checking to see if they're springy. They spring back when I touch them. A toothpick will come out clean, and they start to pull away from the sides. That's how I know they're done. The cupcakes, Same temperature, 350 degrees, but I will bake those for about 16 to 20 minutes. It depends on your oven. Again, check for the same thing. You can usually, if you touch it and it's springy, the cupcakes are done. But they will cook a lot faster. Okay, before I put them in the oven, I'm gonna just kind of get the air bubbles out. I also like to get a spoon. You can get a scale and weigh these to make sure they have the exact same amount in. Can you believe it? I haven't bought one yet. And so I like to level it out with the spoon and eyeball it. And see, that one needs a little more, that one needs a little less. Okay, those look good. They're gonna go in the oven.